Hello Gemini, this is going to be your year in review. So I'm going to pull 12 cards, one for each month for 2020. And we'll see if we can get kind of like a broad forecast of what you might be experiencing throughout the year. I'm pretty excited to do this. I've only done private yearly readings, so doing this for the collective should be pretty awesome. And I would suggest coming back throughout the year and checking in and seeing if you can refresh, obviously, your memory. A year's a long time. And also see how things actually played out compared to how you thought they would play out from the cards and the messages. It'll be pretty interesting to see how these forecasts work for the collective. Let's just get 12 cards for Gemini. Hope y'all have had a pretty good year, and we're moving into a year of transformation, awareness, enlightenment. So it's going to be awesome. All right, January, February, March, April, May, June. Oops, I guess I don't have enough room here. July, August, September, October, November, and December. All right, let's get into this for you, Gemini. Now for January, you have trust. That means you have just come through a huge cycle ending up in December, and your whole year is going to be starting off pretty much on a new foot. You know, you may take a risk, you may do something a little bit different that maybe you've never done before, and you're starting something pretty new coming in January. So the zero is always going to be something that all of us experience, and we all go through it, but it's a major arcana for you. So January is going to be pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like going to be a very altering month for you. Something's going to change, and the guidance of this card is to just trust. Trust that you can take on whatever is landed in your lap. So January is going to be very, very interesting because it's going to change up, and, you know, big changes as far as maybe what you were doing, because it's a brand new cycle starting. The next number would be 1. So very cool that you're starting off January with, you know, a whole new cycle. Now we have February coming up here with an ace, and it's going to be the Ace of Pentacles. Now the Ace of Pentacles is something that you plant. It's something that you nurture. It's something that takes a little bit of time, but it's very stable, and it actually goes towards, you know, the overall legacy of your life. So it's almost like getting that first brick of your foundation, or getting the seed you need to plant in order to grow the tree to bear the fruit. But as we all know, you know, getting from seed to fruit takes a long, 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 long time. And it's very rewarding, yet it does take nurturing, it takes patience, and it actually takes you doing a little bit of work. So there's going to be an opportunity in February for you, Gemini, and it's going to be something that you can take on, and it will improve some sort of stability in your life. So that could be with your employment, your relationship, a creative project that you're really into, a hobby, maybe even something within yourself, because you're starting this new path and you're being given new opportunities to start your new path. So really cool stuff there. Now when we get into March, you're going to have another ace, okay? And this ace is going to be the Ace of Wands. And this is going to be something new that's very passion-filled for you. So you're definitely starting off 2020 with a lot of new things happening. Now this could be part of the same thing, but it could just be another level of really feeling it, rather than just having that opportunity given to you and you taking it and recognizing that it's going to take time and nurturing. Maybe you're now going to feel in February or March how much passion you feel for this new thing. You know, look at how he's like, wow, this, I feel this, you know. Maybe this is recognizing that the end point, you know, the butterfly, building it from a cocoon right here and recognizing what the end's going to be like really takes your breath away. So in March, something's really going to be new, but very passionate for you. Okay, it's going to be a new passion that's starting. All right, that's incredible. Very incredible. I can't even the fact that you have 3 aces in a row is just interesting. Very interesting and cool, and it's 0, 1, 1, 1. I mean, what are the odds of that, Gemini? All right. Along with all this new stuff, it's almost like you're being dropped off into a completely new world, new life. I don't know. It's like 2020 is going to be so new for you with so many new things happening right off the bat. You also have this Ace of Swords. So this is going to be the way that you think and communicate. So it could be relevant to both of these aces where this new thing you're growing and you recognize how much you love it, and it's going to change the way that you think and communicate with people and yourself and the way you communicate, you know, that inner dialogue that happens. So some kind of new vitality, all right, is going to come through. Oh, and this one's clarity of belief. This one's strengthening bonds. So, you know, you're something deeper is growing, right? Strengthening bonds. Clarity of belief is having that passion in something that's going to be big for you, okay? And the new vitality is just that brand new way of being, brand new way of living, you know, having a new spark due to all this newness. You're going to even probably just be communicating, perceiving, and having different thoughts from all of this come April. Now in May, there's going to be some deep healing that happens. This is the Star card. And the Star card always comes along whenever we have broken free from something, okay? We've allowed ourselves, as you can see, these chains are breaking free. We've allowed ourselves to forgive. We've discovered something that has allowed us to move forward and recognize and embrace and accept rather than bury and, you know, regret or, you know, some of those other negative words. There's a healing that happens from that. A healing from our past, a healing from anything that we feel that, you know, wasn't right or, you know, whatever, that regret, right? So there's a healing that happens in May that's really powerful. Whenever we get the black card, like I said, that is the major arcana. So that's a huge shift for you in May, which is awesome because whenever we can heal, we can move forward. All right, this usually comes about after some kind of tower moment. You know, something falls apart and you realize, I don't even need that. Why do I have these chains, you know? You just break free from something that's been really keeping you. That's a cool card to happen for May. Now in June, after all this healing, it's like there's a just breathe. All right, when we get this Four of Wands, it's like really breathing in all of that feeling and recognizing the play that can happen with ourselves when we just take a moment. So June's going to be about relaxing, taking a moment, recognizing what you're building, standing back and taking a look at it, all right? Whenever we get the fours, it's talking about something that we realize. So you're going to realize something if you just take a moment and breathe. And this realization is something that brings us forward into a whole new knowing. All right, whenever we can just take a moment and realize something, we're able to alter something, you know, because our perception is really what's creating our reality. So when you take that moment, you're going to be able to just breathe and move forward with something, okay? You have all these new tools here. You've healed up. Now what, right? It's like you get to this point and you're like, okay, halfway through the year. So the next part of the year starts off with another major arcana, and it is the Hermit. Now, when we get the Hermit, it's saying that whatever questions you may have or the knowledge that you're looking for, the answers that you seek are within. Okay, so this just breathing, she's just breathing, or he or she is just breathing. Okay, they are looking within themselves. They're seeking inner guidance rather than that outer stuff that we can get, okay? There may be a lot of advice coming your way or a lot of things happening for you in July, but if you just seek that inner knowing, you're going to realize that you have the wisdom, you have the experience, and you have all of that inner guidance for a reason, all right? And trusting it, trust in that inner stuff come July, because it's really going to help you as you move forward with all this new stuff into this new cycle. That's awesome. So see how trust and seek are right on top of each other? I'm going to put them like that so you can see. It's really cool. You know, from January to July, there's this trusting that's happening, a trust in yourself. Now you also get the wish card, all right, for August. And that's where you get to make a wish and your dreams may be coming true in August or sometime after that, whenever, you know, you're making that wish and recognizing that you can have what you want. When we get the 9 again, that's that wisdom and experience, knowing that you're not asking for something crazy and what you really want is possible for you. You just have to trust and seek. You know, those are going to be big things for you for 2020. And, you know, building into that, recognizing that you can ask for things. You just make a wish in August and trust that it's coming to you. All right, that's your advice for August. Now you have this 4 here coming up in September. And whenever we get a 4, again, letting you know that it's something you realize. All right, just like in here where you're taking a breath, you're also realizing something here. When we have the 4, we're holding on too tightly to something. Okay, this 4 of Pentacles is just holding on too tight, not wanting to let go. And the advice of this card is to open up, realize something, realize that you have opportunities, you have the ability, you have a strong foundation already, and that to take some sort of risk and to trust in the, you know, the wish that you've made is possible. If you don't open up to your own wish and your belief, what you want may not come through because you're hanging on too tightly to something. So make sure that in September that you're really opening up. Open up to something that maybe you have never believed in, you know, but if you know you deserve it, you definitely should trust, okay? Because this is going to be something that's solid. This is something you can touch. This is part of that seed that you've planted up here in February. You're going to really start to see these results here in September, okay? So making sure, like, you have clarity of belief, seek, trust. There's a lot of belief that has to happen here for your year to really seek that huge transformation, or endure that transformation rather. So make sure that in September you're opening up, because again, the 4 is realization. Realize what you might be hanging on too tightly to, or you might be being too hard-headed, or whatever it is. Okay. Now let's move on to October. October, you're really going to be feeling some sort of way, okay? Because you have this 8 of Swords. And sometimes the 8 of Swords can feel like we're trapped or we don't know what to do, okay? And a lot of the times that's that open up, right? You know, you're just not really sure. And the guidance of this card is to say that you have that strength. You have the strength in your mental capacity and the way that you talk, and it can really bring about success and growth. Okay, but you have to have that strength, and that's what the 8 is always telling us, is strength. So in October, it's going to be really imperative for you to recognize that there is a point of success and growth that can happen for you if you have the strength. Okay, and why do you need strength? Well, maybe because you might be feeling like you don't have any options. All right, or that maybe you just, you know, have reached a ceiling of sorts. But this card is to let you know that that's not a thing. A tree is going to grow. Whether you put a ceiling on it or not, it'll grow around it, right? So you have to recognize that you have the strength to have the success and to really embrace and experience growth in October if you can remain diligent and have that mental strength. It's all about mental strength and strength in the way that we communicate and strength when we are receiving communication. That's a big one too. Not being weak in the way that we receive. Okay, keeping our thoughts positive would be the best way to say that for October. So definitely make sure, Gemini, that you are keeping those thoughts positive in October. All right. Now let's move up here to November. Now, November 2020 for you, Gemini, is going to be, again, some more realization. So you have a lot of realization that's coming up and some trust. But this realization here is going to be in your swords. So again, definitely realizing what could be keeping you, small. Why are you keeping yourself small? What is it that you're chained to? And it looks like that might be something that you may not be able to, get through right away. And for whatever reasoning that is, because you do have a moment of joy and stability, but you also have this card coming up here in December, which we'll get to in a minute. But it's really showing kind of like this pattern of not really trusting. So at some point, the opening up, this can alter for you, and you can bring about joy and stability as long as you're able to recognize where your mental is. This is all about relaxing into something, relaxing into things that are going on around you, kind of letting go, not worrying, taking some time. This is like a self-care card, okay? I like to call the Four of Swords the self-care. It can bring about joy and stability if you give yourself the time. So if you find yourself rushing around and stressing out in November, Gemini, make sure that you take time. Take time for yourself. Take time to recognize and be grateful for what's going on around you, but you don't have to engage and do so much action, okay? November is all about going with the flow and taking time for yourself. You don't have to be a yes man or a yes woman in November, all right, Gemini? So keep that in mind, because you have success and growth. Don't let anything stop you. You have that power within you to be that big tree from what you're growing. Now you have the Devil coming up here for December 2020, and sometimes that's just something where something has run its course. It no longer serves us. So we may still, may still be engaging in something that isn't that amazing. Yet we make excuses about it, or we make excuses for it, or whatever. It could be a person, it could be a job, it could be a hobby, it could be, even an addiction. It can be so many different things. It doesn't have to be something that's bad necessarily for you, right? But it's just not working. It's not in line with what it is you want to be and who you are starting off this new year. It's almost like you come into this new year blazing with all these new opportunities. You're healing, you're doing great, getting your dreams coming true, and towards the end of the year, from all of this newness and transformation, you're realizing you're not the same person, right? When we get to the 15, it's all about recognizing what it is we might be chained to and where there's temptation, okay? And who is our master? That's something to ask yourself, Gemini. Mastering yourself is so important, and not allowing anything to keep you small or to, dictate your power and your energy. So the best way to get out of the, devil energy is to break free, and that's that tower moment. So you may have a tower moment coming up in 2021 after this year that it will help you break free, okay? But really recognizing what you need to break free from in December is going to be imperative for you, Gemini. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure that you subscribe. It definitely helps me spread the channel around YouTube. Like this video if you liked it. That also helps me. And don't forget to check the description below, because I did put some things in there about the year coming up that may also be beneficial information for you. And check back here in a couple days for your January reading. And thank you again for watching. Check y'all later.